Complete passage of Daniel in the lion's den. The story of Daniel in the lion's den shows God's faithfulness in protecting those who trust in him. Daniel was a servant of the Lord whose integrity was tested by envy, but he remained faithful to the Lord. Even in the face of unjust laws, Daniel resisted the evil conspiracy, seeking God in prayer. As a result, he was thrown into a pit full of hungry lions. Darius decided to appoint 120 satraps to administer his entire kingdom. Over them he placed 3 presidents, of whom Daniel was one, to whom these satraps were to be accountable, so that the king would not suffer any loss. Then the same Daniel stood out among the other presidents and satraps, because there was an excellent spirit in him. The king even thought about placing him over the entire kingdom. Then the presidents and satraps began to look for a pretext related to the administration of the kingdom, so that they could accuse Daniel. But they could not find this pretext, nor any guilt, because he was faithful, and no error or guilt was found in him. Then these men said, "We will never find a pretext to accuse this Daniel, unless we look for something related to the law of the God he worships." Then these presidents and satraps went together to speak to the king and said, "May King Darius live forever." All the presidents of the kingdom, the mayors and satraps, counselors and governors agreed that the king issue a decree and sanction an interdict, ordering that anyone who, within the next 30 days, makes a request to any god or any man and does not, may you, O king, be thrown into the lion's den. Therefore, O king, sanction the interdict and sign the document, so that it cannot be changed, according to the law of the Medes and the Persians, which cannot be revoked. And so King Darius signed the document and the interdict. When Daniel learned that the document had been signed, he returned home. In his room, on the top floor, the windows opened to the Jerusalem side. 3 times a day, he got down on his knees, prayed, and gave thanks before his God, as was his custom. Then those men went together to Daniel's house and found him praying and making supplications before his God. Afterwards, they presented themselves to the king, to speak about the royal interdict. They asked the king, "Is it not true that you signed an interdict ordering, within 30 days, that any man who made a request to any god or any man other than you, O king, be thrown into the lion's den?" The king replied, "Yes, the interdict is in force, according to the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be revoked." Then they said to the king, "This Daniel, who is one of the exiles of Judah, makes light of you, O king, and of the interdict that you signed. 3 times a day, he says his prayer." Upon hearing this, the king was very sad and decided to free Daniel. Until the sun set, he tried to save him. Then those men went together to the king and said to him, "Remember, O king, that it is a law of the Medes and the Persians that no interdict or decree which the king has sanctioned can be changed." Then the king ordered them to bring Daniel and throw him into the lion's den. The king said to Daniel, "May your God, whom you continually serve, deliver you." A stone was brought and placed over the mouth of the pit. The king sealed the stone with his own ring and the ring of the important men in the kingdom, so that nothing would change about Daniel. Then the king went to his palace, spent the night fasting and did not allow musical instruments to be brought into his presence, and sleep fled from him. In the morning, at daybreak, the king got up and went quickly to the lion's den. As he approached the pit, he called out to Daniel in a sad voice. The king said to Daniel, "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God, whom you continually serve, managed to deliver you from the lions?" Daniel replied, "May the king live forever. My God sent his angel and closed the lions' mouths, so that they would not harm me, because I was found innocent before him. Nor have I committed any offense against you, O king." Then the king, with great joy, ordered Daniel to be taken out of the pit. So Daniel was taken out of the pit, and no wound was found on him, because he had trusted in his God. The king gave an order, and those men who had accused Daniel were brought. They, their children and their wives were thrown into the lion's den. They had not yet reached the bottom of the pit, and the lions took possession of them and crushed all their bones. Then King Darius wrote to the people of all peoples, nations, and languages that dwell throughout the earth. May peace be multiplied to them. I make a decree that throughout the whole dominion of my kingdom, everyone will tremble and fear before the God of Daniel. Because he is the living God, and which remains forever. His kingdom will not be destroyed.